Alex Archbold is the owner of Curiosity Incorporated, an antique store located in Edmonton, Alberta. In one of Curiosity Incorporated's YouTube videos, Alex introduced himself saying, "Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles." Come winter of 2020, one of his small adventures would turn out to be one of the biggest ones yet. Alex is all about antiques, collectibles, and vintage motorcycles. But just like most collectors, it's safe to say that he's all about cars too. And it was during an antique sale a few years ago that Alex had met a lovely elderly woman named Madone Rack who was selling her old Cadillac. The two seemed to really click and continued to keep in touch even after Alex purchased the blue vintage vehicle from the piano teacher. Sadly, in November of 2020, the 76-year-old woman passed away due to illness. And once a loved one passes away, sometimes it's their things that keep their memory alive for generations and generations to come. Like your great-great-grandmother's beautiful china set or diamond ring, right? Rack didn't have any children though, so when it came to all of her belongings and property, it was up for sale after her passing. And while it's hard to lose someone special, Alex saw this as an opportunity to honor the beloved piano teacher. Rack was known to be a lively, colorful woman full of all types of experiences in her life. So, Alex assumed she was bound to have at least a couple of interesting knickknacks around the house. Considering the fact that Alex had a personal connection to Rack, on top of the fact that he loved vintage items, he decided to take the risk and purchase her home without even looking around inside it first. But Alex was purchasing the whole house with its contents inside of it. Interestingly enough though, this wasn't the first time that he had done something like this before. But he ended up finding so much more than that. Alex purchased the home and all of the belongings found inside of it for just $10,000. When it was finally time to take a look around her home, though, he was blown away by what he saw. "I thought it was going to be a break-even situation, that maybe with the piano and some of the other things, I might be able to get $10,000 worth of stuff. I was shocked and surprised to learn that that was not the case," Alex shared with CBC. As Alex and his personal search team entered the house for the first time, they were blown away. The entire house was cluttered and filled with all sorts of trinkets, books, magazines, piles of clothing, the full-on hoarder's home. Based on his interactions with the sweet elder woman from the past, Alex thought he might have had some clue about what to find inside of the home. Clearly, he was wrong. It wasn't until he actually walked into the house that he finally understood what she meant by the need to tidy up before having him around. It's always quite a shock when you walk into a house that's literally filled to the brim with different items and things. How did this sweet old lady seem to have collected so many things over time and kept them in such a manner? Alex and his team didn't see the piles of trash as anything to fear. If anything, it was just an extra level to the challenge. Sure, it might have been quite a process to clean up everything. However, what they did find put quite a pep in their step from then on. Can you believe that they actually found real silver bars just tucked away in paper? What an odd and exhilarating find. If there was silver just hanging around the house hidden away in leaflets, then maybe there were other wonders hidden in other places around. So after the first day, the team started looking through every nook and cranny around the house. It just became a daily discovery of actually looking for treasure. And so this began the process of looking thoroughly through books and shoes and magazines and newspapers. And eventually we massed this hoard of amazing treasure we found throughout the house. Alex further revealed, found at the house of the piano teacher, covered under a white sheet, was a beautiful Williams baby grand, along with a bunch of music books and a storage bin below the keys. As the team made their way upstairs, they stumbled upon one of the bedrooms that had an additional door that was completely blocked by literal piles and piles of clothing and boxes filled with keepsakes. Rack was known to be a musician and ballerina, but she had a knack for fashion as well. Not only did she dress up herself in a very distinct style with bright colors and accessories, but her home proved that fashion held a special place in her heart. To some people, piles of clothes might just look like, well, clothes. But to Alex, the antique artist, he saw this as a treasure. Alex and his teammate Dakota dug through piles of clothing and items to get to the blockaded door in the spare bedroom. They found all sorts of fashion and apparel-related items like shoe trees, retail hooks, leather jackets, fabric pattern leaflets, and a vintage special tailor book from 1924 titled American Garment Cutter. How interesting! They also found a couple of bay blankets that totaled to be worth about $600. But there was one more thing that they found before unblocking the doorway that Alex was super excited about. But another thing they found was an untouched Meccano model construction set, which is exactly what Alex's son asked for the holidays. Looks like Christmas literally came early that year. That might have been the most valuable find for Alex's son. But the most valuable find in general from this room so far might have been the Nikon Nikormat camera, with a telephoto lens that was buried beneath the piles of clothing and keepsakes. Incredible! Alex thought it might have been another room located between the main bedroom and the spare that they were currently in. So what was actually behind door #1? After digging through the spare bedroom and sifting through all of the items blocking the doorway within the room, they were finally able to solve the mystery of what was behind it. It turns out that it was a mini walk-in closet, and surprisingly enough, it was quite organized with tons of boxes and a bunch of 60s swag, outfits from the 60s. The most intriguing thing, though, was that there was a secret door in the back that had the words, "Do not open this door," on it. Spooky! Over the next couple of weeks, Alex and his team found actual treasures buried in places they never would have expected. They came across a 100 ounces silver bar, bags of gold rings, jewelry, and designer items hidden in different spots around the house, like inside shoes. How wild! How much did all of his findings total out to though? Combining all of the little trinkets, clothing, and money found all around the house, Alex estimated everything to be just under $500,000, $400,000. What exactly was he going to do with all of these items though? The only auction was just the first of a few he was planning on holding. However, before holding the other auctions, he had already made a profit of over $200,000. So what exactly was he going to do with it all? He wants to make one of his dreams a reality and open a cafe next door to his antique shop. He also revealed that it wouldn't be complete without one special item that he found in the piano teacher's home. We're all very grateful to Madame Rack for her legacy being passed on through us and to be able to try and do wonderful things with it. It just reminds us of how temporary we are in this world and how important the things that we have around us are, Alex further revealed. But how did all of these treasures and wonders from the past even end up hidden away in a hoarded house like this? How did a piano teacher end up with so many valuable items like silver bars and piles of vintage clothing? As an only child, when her folks had passed, I think all of their inheritance went to her. But the funny thing was that she was not very open about her wealth, so very many people thought she didn't have much money at all. Alex explained. She lived quite a simple life and even used to share a bus pass with her husband. But for fun, she loved traveling around the world, shopping, and with this inheritance, she had the opportunity to do all sorts of things that an average person wouldn't dream of.